Got beans, get beans. Burter Butterbeans Studio.
You know who it is?
Hey guys, it's Burter Butterbean Studio, and in today's video, I'm going to show you a small tutorial of how you can upload your Quest text adventure games to itch.io. Currently, there's a really cool jam going on called Text Adventure Literacy Jam 2024. This is the fourth annual Text Adventure Literacy Jam that's been going on. Um, and the theme for this jam is fairy tale. So you can either make a game on an existing fairy tale, inspired by an existing fairy tale, mashup of classic fairy tales, or even your own original fairy tale. It started on March 1st. Submissions close April 30th. Voting ends or opens May 1st. Voting closes May 31st. Results are announced June 1st. There's a lot of rules here that you need to stick to. And there's several text adventure software out there that you can use to build your games. I'm using Quest, and I think a lot of people will be. So, what is a text adventure? They give you a classic rundown of what it is and when it was first built. Essentially, you have a map that you can traverse using north, south, east, west commands. You can look at objects, pick them up, use them, and you have a whole story built into a game that just uses the keyboard or the mouse. You can add sound effects, music, and graphics to make your game a little juicier. You should have a built-in tutorial. Make your game fair. And then the best part is that there's prizes for this competition. So that's more incentive to make something, have some friendly competition, and then wait in suspense as they announce the winners. Currently, there are 92 people that joined, and you have 1 month and 8 days to submit your project. So Quest is a pretty cool application. You can use it in the browser, or you can download the offline version, which is nice, but it tends to crash sometimes if you do some code that might break uh, the software. I'm not sure if it still happens on the web version, but it's pretty easy to learn. There's a lot of documentation online. This is the page that shows you some recommendations of how to publish your game. Online is easy. You just click the publish button at the top right, and then there's a couple more steps in the offline version, but I'll leave links to all these documentation in the description. So you can play a bunch of games on their webpage that people have built. This is an example of one that will be building our HTML file that we'll use in itch. But when it comes to publishing your game, you'll just copy the link to your game into the HTML file that we're going to build, and that'll let you play it on itch.io instead of having to redirect over here. So let's take a look at the HTML code. I'm using Notepad++. When you create a new file and you save it, so new file for instance, and then save as, you want to click save as type and change it to, if you click the H button and click it another time, you'll see hypertext markup language, and that's just essentially a web page, which I have here. And then there's some code over here. I can go over the gist of it. Okay, so we're defining the type and version as HTML at the very top. We're specifying the language of the document, which is English. And then our head tag has meta information about the HTML document. This line right here, we're setting the characters encoding to UTF-8. And this part is pretty important when it comes to resizing on mobile devices. It basically scales according to the width and height of your device. Not sure it's going to work too well with Quest, but it's worth a try. And then this title will be the name of your game you can change it to. I think itch.io is going to do that for you anyway, so you don't really need to worry about this part. So now the style just contains styling for the embedded web view. So we're putting a website into a web page. We're just going to see it in a square. And the body HTML is everything that you'll see on the web page. This line is important. If you have dark mode enabled on your itch.io page and your text is black and you click full screen, it's going to change the background to black and you won't be able to see any of your text. So if we set the background of everything, for instance, to the color white, then you will be able to see your black text on it. So we have the embed container. We're defining a container with a responsive aspect ratio. And this right here is a 16:9 aspect ratio or widescreen. And then the iframe inside the container, we're styling the embedded iframe to fill the container over here. Now, our div over here, this is creating a container for the embedded iframe. And then we're going to embed the external website or the link to our game. We're going to put that inside of the iframe. So whenever you publish your game, you're going to replace this line. When I share the code, it'll be like example.com. Then you're going to paste your game in there. And then we say frame border is 0. That removes a black outline that would normally come from an iframe. And we are going to allow full screen. And that's it for the HTML code. So if we were to save this now we can go to our project and we're going to upload a file. And this is our game project file. Then we want to check the box. This file will be played in the browser. And you can set your viewport dimensions. So they should match. Actually, we didn't hardcode those values here, so that's good. So you can put whatever you like. 960 by 360 or 1280 by 720 would be good. You can check the box for mobile friendly. I would recommend setting the landscape orientation and check the box for a full screen button. So if someone wants to play in full screen, they can. Spice up your page a little bit, add some details, maybe some instructions on how to play, what the game is about. You can always save your game as a draft, so it's not public yet. And then once you have your HTML file uploaded, we can view the page. And if you wanted to, you can make your game page look even better by changing some of the background colors, some of the text colors, the fonts, the size of the fonts, add some screenshots, maybe using a sidebar, upload a custom banner which will appear above your game background. That'll be the background behind the game that's playing. So let's see what happens when we click Run Game. You'll see a loading bar over here. And then now you have your full Quest game inside of itch.io. So you don't have to point someone outside of itch.io to play it here. Now we can just play it here. So if we just press any key like they say, now we can play the game. We can do north, click enter. The door is locked. If you had a weapon, you could smash it open, or maybe there's a key somewhere around. And now we can click this full screen button. Whoops. So now you see when you click full screen, the background is black. And that's because in our code, we forgot to do background color colon hashtag FF FFFF semicolon. It's good that we saw that in practice That was what I was mentioning earlier, was that with dark mode, if you go full screen, it'll set your page to black. So let's re-upload the game again. Set it to play in the browser. Click Save, View Page, Run Game. And now let's try to run it in full screen, and it's no longer black. So it's a perfect size. You're not distracted by anything else. You can play with the full controls. You got the compass here, your objects, and that's basically how you upload your Quest game to itch.io. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it helps you upload your game to the Game Jam if you are participating. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. It helps out a ton. And turn on notifications so you can see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
You know who it is?